Let me see. Hello, hello. Hey, Kathy did make it. Hey, Kathy, glad you're here. Today is a gorgeous day in Virginia. In fact, my skylight is right behind me and it's kind of blinding me the way the sun is starting to shift and come in. But it is gorgeous. And we are going to finally get into those 70-degree temps after we get through the rain on Friday, Saturday, of course. But my name is Colleen Magnus, and I come to you live every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. I'm in Chesapeake, Virginia, and on the East Coast, and I just love to teach. So the more I thought about it, I really need to start saying, I used to say it as a joke, I will teach you what to do, I may teach you what not to do, but I promise to teach you something. Well, the last part I do find true. My goal is to teach you something new or teach an easier way to do it. But that middle part, where I will teach you what not to do, I tend to be doing that a lot. Last week I put a blotch on my paper, but I did show you how to fix it. Creating is it's an adventure. And I really think true creativity comes in when you mess up, when you do something you didn't want to do, and then you got to fix it. So today I will teach you what to do. I will teach you what not to do, but I do promise to teach you something. It is September 20th, and life is good. Y'all know Danny retired on August 11th, and people have asked how he is doing. Well, he's doing well. He's enjoying it, and I asked him, I said, so what do you think of retirement? And he said, well, it's like that movie Groundhog Day. He said, every day you wake up, it's Saturday. You just get to go outside and do what you want. And he has been keeping busy doing exactly what he wants, and hopefully we'll escape here soon and go somewhere. But life is good, and I hope it's good in your world too. So this is part 2 of the decorative mask. Last week we did the Abundant Beauty decorative masks that are in the mini catalog, and they are amazing. So I was going to wrap up with the other 2 masks this week, but honestly, we are going to focus on just the sunflowers. We will cover the houndstooth another time, but the sunflowers in themselves are amazing. So I'm going to teach you how to not only build the flowers with the stencils, but then we're going to take it to another level and add in some shimmery sculpting paste. I don't know if you know what that is or if you have used it. Knowing me, y'all know I just used it this morning and I loved it. I think it'll be a great addition to the mask and a lot of fun. So without any further ado, I am going to boot us up. I will turn the camera down and see who is with me here today, and we will get creating. So hold on, y'all. You know the deal. What? Did I just see that Joanne is at Norfolk Airport? Aw, she has to go home. Oh, I know you hate leaving Jody, but I know you've had a wonderful, wonderful time here. And I'm so glad I got to meet you. And you were able to come and stamp at the house. So let me pull my screen up here. So, yes, Kathy is here. Stephanie is here. Oh, she's going to use Thanksgiving cards. The mask for her Thanksgiving cards. Gwen, it was good stamping with you last night. I have a wonderful team of beautiful stampers, and we actually stamped via Zoom last night. Learned something new. So that was fun too. We do a mystery stamping, and they don't know what it is. They just have to cut their cardstock and join me, and then we all create together. Lots of fun, and I loved your cards. Sarah, hello, Sarah. It is a beautiful day. And Lynn, I hope you are recovering. Lynn is like Superwoman. She just had some surgery yesterday, and she'll be up and walking soon. In fact, knowing you, Lynn, you're probably walking and you'll be stamping by tomorrow. Got you in my prayers. So Becky is from Kansas. The masks are on your next order. Becky, you will love them, and I can't wait to show you what we're doing today. So Diane and Joanne, safe travels home, Joanne. I'll pray you all the way there. And again, I hope our paths will cross again, as I think they will. Okay, McCoy is here. Debbie's here. Barb is here. Good. Okay, so Barb is Lynn's sister. Lynn I hope you don't mind me saying Lynn, she had a hip replacement yesterday. So keep her in your prayers. But she's up in the craft room. With her sister Barb. Why does that not surprise me? So we're going to go ahead and get started. But these are the cards I'm going to show you. Let me turn my other light on. I actually have it set up. Just hadn't turned it on. Okay, so I'm going to show you how these masks work. But then we have something called Shimmery White Embossing Paste. So then we're going to step our card up from there. Yep, Lynn is up walking. Good deal. Well, these cards here, these were the ones that we did last week. So if you did not see that video, go to my Creating with Colleen Magnus YouTube channel right here, and you can see them. But this was the torn faux paper, and I used the leaf mask. And then, of course, we did some on the inside. And this was my boo-boo. I had smudged with the brush, so we just cut ourselves out a leaf. And I love the way it looks, even though there's a boo-boo underneath there. And then, of course, we did the snowflakes. And with the snowflakes, we did, just like the other ones, two-tone. So, loving the masks. A lot of possibilities here. So your masks are on page 47 of the mini catalog. And Sandy Hancock, this is her, y'all have heard me say that before. She did this beautiful stamp set, because when you sell $1 million with Stampin' Up, you get to design your own set. And I love that they paired it with the Abundant Beauty decorative masks. These masks are amazing. There's 7 of them, and they're only $10.50. And I think you're really going to like them. So today what we will be doing is, of course, we're going to use Sandy's stamp set. And we are going to explore the sunflowers. So with the sunflowers, there's 4 masks to the set. So you're actually building this flower. The cool thing is they have notches. So if you want to line them up by the notch, you get them all straight. Although I think the images are very easy to follow. And they have you build the larger one. It has numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody I've seen, and even myself, even though the leaves are number 2, I like to put them on last, because you can put them wherever you want. You know, we like choices. So we are going to use these masks with our colors. Hey, Lisa, I'm glad you're here. Let me give you the measurements of the paper we're going to have. So this is 5.5 by 8.5 balmy blue. You've scored it at 4 1/4. This is 5 1/4 by 4-inch Night of Navy. And then this piece here is 3 3/4 by 5-inch basic white. So I went easy on y'all today. No 8ths or 16ths, just your basic size card. And if you're wondering, whenever you do layers, the basic card size is just 1/4 inch smaller than the layer before. So this would be 4 1/4 by 5.5. This would be 5 1/4 by 4, 3 3/4 by 5. And it just gives you a really nice colored edge to go with. Sometimes I like it a little bit thinner, but not today. So I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper here. And you do not have to hold down your paper, so you could just hold it with one hand, but I like to have my hands free. I'm always grabbing something around me. And so I am going to actually tape this down with some washi tape. And I don't know why it's always so hard for me to find the edge here. I need to have one that has writing or something. There we go. So when I take this off, I'm going to leave this here like that. I want to take this and actually put it on my jeans. Put it on something to pick up just a little bit of lint. Because if not, you can actually tear your cardstock. It'll take just like a light layer coming up. And then you're going to be all bummed. You don't want that. So I'm going to tape this down. And before I do, well, actually I already did it. I'll do it now. I am going to take and stamp my words first. So for this one, I'm going to put "You're in my heart and prayers." I could send a lot of these cards. Let me pull this toward me so I can get it towards the top here. So a Night of Navy, I stamped "You're in my heart and prayers." And the reason I wanted to put that on there first is because then when I put this down, I can put my flowers wherever I want. Now, I was kind of looking at this and it made sense. You know, the way the leaves are, I wasn't too crazy about this leaf here. And then, you know, but I've used the other two, that's fine. But really, when I got to looking at this today, if these had stems, that's pretty much how these sunflowers would look in the field. You always have that tall one in the middle and the ones on the side. But you can do these in any color. You can move them around any way that you want. So since I have my words there, I can put my colors here And here I'm just going to tape this onto my scrap piece. Alrighty, put that one there. So you want to start with your lightest color first. And actually, we are going to use blending brushes. I have the large and the small brushes. You could use sponges, but as we talked last week, the brushes are so smooth and they're just so, golly day, they're just really soft to blend. They're beautiful. So I'm going to take Balmy Blue. I'm going to not tap this on my card like I did last time. And I want mine to be darker in the center and lighter on the outside. You could do it either way, but I'm going to start here. And I actually started in that center because that's part of the mask. So I'm going to come around. And if you notice, I am holding on to the head of the brush here. Now see, that's where I got to watch out because you know me. I get to wisping around and I could get a line up there. I hope I did not already. So I'm just going to mask this part right there. So hopefully I don't get anything on my card base. If I did, then I guess I would be sponging all the way around to just make it look like that's what I wanted. It's really all in your attitude. So I'm going to get this a little bit darker in the middle, lighter on the outside. Start in my middle, going darker. But do make sure you go all the way out to the tips of your flowers. And then again, darker. And this is all just the Balmy Blue right now. And lighter on the outside. Make it a little bit darker there. You can play with these all day, I promise you. So now that I've done my lighter, I'm going to come in with the darker. Oh, Deborah says it's a beautiful day in Minnesota. You know, it is gorgeous here today. And we're supposed to get rain. My niece is getting married Friday night. And I think it's supposed to be quite a bit of rain Friday and possibly Saturday. But after that, it looks like sunny and 70s. My kind of weather. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to come in here with some Misty Moonlight. I'm going to dab that. It's dark, so see how I'm dabbing off a little bit? And then I'm going to come in light. And this I'm just going to kind of keep towards the center. But the smaller brushes are great for this because I have a little bit more control of where I want my color. And you also want to, I don't know if you could see this. You can, when you first ink it in here, you want to give a little tap because you can see the actual texture of the brush. But what helps that is if I start really light and then just come in dark. You know, keep pushing down. But always start out light. Alrighty. And this should take care of the blue portion. So I'm going to pull this up. And you also need to be careful, note to self, since this is a classic ink and it's a water-based ink, it's not going to dry on this mask. It's a non-porous surface, so it's not going to dry. So if you're touching your mask, chances are you have ink on your fingers. So be careful to watch that. It's good to kind of have a, just like a damp paper towel over here. So I have this. Now I'm going to go to my next one. I'm going to skip number 2 and hit number 3. And the one thing, you know, as I was telling you, it's kind of easy to line up here. But if you wanted to, you could actually take this little notch and just draw the notch on your scrap paper. So when I had this one, if I had lined that notch up there, you know, you would have, let me get it right there. You would have done your flowers. So there's a notch there. But it is easy to just eye it. But you could put your notch and it gives you a good, kind of like a good starting point of where you're going to put it. So I have here, I'm going to, again, just tape it down. Now I'm going to come in with some crushed curry. So I'll come in here with my curry. as I said, you can actually do these flowers in any color. Typically, you're going to see them in the crushed curry, the really rust, the pumpkin pie, and they're beautiful. But I have seen them in blues. I have seen them, I even saw them strictly in pecan pie, and they were gorgeous. Now, who would have thought a brown flower would be beautiful, but it really, really was. So here I have that. Then you're going to come in with these little detailed ones. And this, I will just go ahead and hold on to. So now I'm going to put a little pumpkin pie. Sometimes I think sponging, when you're using your brushes, the hardest part is just keeping them in the writing pads, which is why I always close them, because I'm notorious for putting them in the wrong ones. You may be too. So here, just put a little bit there. And my flowers are done. And they're beautiful, if I say so myself, because the mask did all the work. Not necessarily me. But then I'm going to put my leaves in. So I typically like using the old olive. But again, I want some light and darks. And you can put them wherever you want. Like I can put a flower here. See, I did get a little bit of a blue smudge there. Not a problem. We are going to cover that right up. So don't do that, but if you do, do this. I'm going to start down here at the base because that's kind of where I want my dark. And then I'm just going to come out. And there I have my one leaf. I'll put another one in here. And you kind of have to, when I was doing this, the leaves kind of have to be off the flowers because if not, they look like they're on top of the flower. And that's not cool. The only thing you could do if you wanted them coming underneath the flower would be to mask the leaf. So you would do your leaf first. Let me think if I'm saying that right. No, you would mask your flower. You would do your flower first, mask your leaf so that it doesn't get, mask your flower, so it doesn't get on there. That's another video for another day because I think I totally just confused you. All right, a little bit of dark. And then I like this little flower here. Actually, though, I don't know. I'm really digging these big flowers. I got a feeling I might do a little bit of a flower overload. So forgive me if I do. Not a flower, leaf overload. But it just opened up opportunities to put the leaves on the cards. And maybe one little one. Oh my goodness, that's going to be like crazy. Maybe not. I wish we had a quick response. I think it might be too much. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. It's not like me. I usually go for it. So Kathy said she missed seeing these. So many things are easy to miss in the catalog. And I think when they do embossing folders and masks, that's just like white. It's clear. So unless you looked at the sample, you wouldn't even know how they did those. But they are sadly easy to miss. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and pull this up. And then I want to do a couple extra things that I've really been liking. First of all, I'm going to take, you need a larger piece of paper, otherwise it goes everywhere. But it is a craft room and a craft table, so it's okay. But I am going to take this here. I'm going to take a block, and I'm going to take my Wink of Stella. I did this with the snowflakes last time, and I didn't think I had a lot on there, but it's more than you imagine, especially when you get in the light. The other thing, I don't know if you know, if your Wink of Stella is getting a little dry or it's getting low, because it will run out, you can unscrew this, and if you take a little bit of alcohol and put it in that hole, I just kind of hold it to the bottle and just give a quick squirt, you'll be amazed what was left in here. And you just keep going. So I'll just give a little squeeze to make sure I've got enough in my brush. And then you're just going to slap it on your block. And it adds so much. It is so cool. Love it. So now that I have that, and again, put that alcohol in there and it'll really come out freely. But wait till it's dry. So, I don't know if you can see that. So right there. Now this, I think, I like the way the leaves turned out on this one. So I think it's pretty enough just to mount. And that's exactly what I'll do. Is I will take this, my adhesive. Got a little sparkly on that. So it must obviously still be on here. It takes a minute to dry. Turn it over and then put it on here. All right, like so. And you know, whenever I score, I'll be honest with you, whenever I score, sometimes it can still be a little bit off. Like I've got just that tiny edge there, which y'all know would drive me crazy. So instead of like trying to rescore this or fold it, turn it over. Nobody ever sees it when you open it like this because you just see your front. Must not have had it completely in the corner, but it'll still work. But see here, I don't know if y'all can see that. Here I would have had that edge. Let me hold it up here. Yeah, see, that would drive me crazy that little bit. But here I don't. It looks perfect. So this is your card. Now this one that I had done, I actually took, I love a textured folder. So this exposed brick 3D embossing folder is perfect for doing something like this. But what I did is here I have embossed it. So this way you have your texture. But either way, it really and truly just makes for a beautiful card. So now, so Stephanie said, oh, Stephanie said, add a little leaf in the hole that I have here. If you're talking here, Stephanie, it would actually lay over the petals and it doesn't look right. I did it, let me see, was this one? I did it here and it overlapped the petals a little bit. So I don't know. I'm going to leave well enough alone because it's a very fine line. So here, let me know what y'all think of this. Give a shout out. I had this here and I thought it was pretty. And then I wanted to do something different. So I cut it and just separated it in the middle. But my jury is out as to whether I like that or not. So it is different. Give a yay or a nay as to whether you like that. So Stephanie was asking if the masks are, or no, Gwen was, if the masks are in stock. Praise the Lord. Gwen, as far as I know, they came back, I think it was last night or the day before. When I showed them last week, I didn't even know they were out of stock and not orderable because they didn't have it on the inventory status report list. But when we were talking, I think it was yesterday afternoon, they said they are in. So that is great. And I'll check that to make sure, but this alone, you can make a bunch of these, leave your sentiments off and have a good time. But we have something that is called Shimmery White Embossing Paste. And it's made for masks. So I have never used it. You know, I buy this stuff and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to use it. Well, don't be afraid. Just use it. I mean, you already bought it. And we're only talking cardstock. And I have to say, it's addicting. It is a lot of fun. So I'm going to do this same card, but I'm going to do it with the paste. So first what I'll do, let me go ahead. I had a damp paper towel here. So I did want to go ahead and wipe my mask down, even though I'll be using the same colors. Let me just wipe them. And what I'll do a lot of times is whenever I'm done with the mask completely, I'll run them under the sink. And the reason I do that is just because all of that ink would definitely just wash right off. And then I can store them. Put that there for later. So they're all clean. Let me see. Oh, Stephanie said her phone has been drinking. She meant to say right of the big one where you were going to. I was, Steph. I really wanted to, but then I was afraid it'd be too many leaves. So y'all can put a shout out for that. Yes or no? Should I? Or no way. Let me see. Okay. So let me see here. Y'all never did put a shout out. Let me know what you think of the diagonal. Diagonal yes or diagonal cut no. That'll help me decide what I do going forward. So what I'm going to do now with the sculpting paste is I am going to, when I did this on the sample this morning, I felt like it actually made a different color. Like the ink was just picked up a little bit. So I changed the colors from Misty Moonlight and Balmy Blue to Pretty Peacock and Pool Party. So I'm doing my card base vertical this time. You know, this is when you cut it in half on the 11-inch side. This is when you cut it in half on the 8.5 side. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. Then I have a piece of Pretty Peacock, 4 by 5 1/4. And then my basic white, 3 3/4 by 5. So everything is the same except this card base. So what I'll do here is I'm going to stamp my words first again. And this time I'm going to stamp them in the Pretty Peacock. So Gwen liked it without the diagonal. I did too. Same with Kay. I was just feeling a little spunky and had 2 cards the same and thought, well, let me give it a try. Mama always taught me nothing ventured, nothing gained. That was like so almost straight. I mean, it really was, but when you can do better, do better. Okay, so this says, hope your day is a happy one. And again, I'm using the So Sincere, which is featured right underneath the mask. So I'm going to put this down. Then I will tape this down. Let me see. Okay, good. Stephanie said the diagonal is different, but it's not needed. Gotcha. All right, no more diagonals. So I'm going to put this down. And when I put my mask on here, again, I'll figure out exactly where I want these. That looks good. Then I'm going to take, this is called Shimmery White Embossing Paste. Now they have it in a shimmer and then they have it in plain. Either one works great, but I love the shimmer because it does exactly that. You also have, these are the palette knives, and you have 3 of them. So you have this long one, which I found to be, works the best with this. You have a small trowel, one that looks like this, and that would be good for little parts. And then you have this one here. So I think depending on the mask that you're using, just depends on which one you like best, not to mention personal preference. So I am going to open this up. And again, I want to mask this because I don't want to get anything where it's not supposed to be. Y'all know I'm good at that. And so when I open it, I'm just going to take some of this paste out. Don't be afraid of it. And I'm just going to drag it across the opening. So you can do this on partial mask to get part of it. You can do it wherever you want. But I'm going to cover all 3 flowers. I tried doing, when I first was playing with this, I tried doing just the one flower so it would stand out. But again, I found the ink, it's like the ink had a different color with the paste. So I have that on there, nice and smooth. I'll just scrape off the excess, put the top back on, and then when I pull this up, I have these beautiful flowers. And I'm just going to take that wet rag and just lightly go over my mask. There we go. When you're at home, I would probably just go to the sink and wash that off. But here, oh, look at that. That's my list. The bank, the cleaners, and the post office after I finish here. Guess I better not use that or lose it. So here you have your shimmery flowers. Now I think they're even pretty just like this, but I'm going to add color to it. Naturally, you're going to have to let them dry. You definitely want to do that. So I'm going to set this aside. I'd say it would take like 20 minutes. So let me see. She said, Gwen said it was blurry on her side. Hopefully not here, the image. But this is what it looks like up close. And 20, maybe 30 minutes to dry. You could use your blow dryer or heat tool to speed it along. But I did this earlier. And so I have my piece here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it down. Again, I just like to hold it in place because if not, it can just move all over on me. And I am going to take my sunflowers. Let me find my one. All right, y'all. Here we go. I was going to say, you know I didn't move. It actually stuck to my other paper. Actually, I'd washed it off. So here, now that I say that, since I have to use it again, let me go ahead and take that damp cloth and get most of it off. Because now I'm going to sponge. So I will take this and I'm just going to line it up where I was. So now I've completely lined it up right where that was, where I put the shimmery paste. I'm going to cover my corner, and I'm going to come back with my balmy blue and the large blue brush. So I'll just tap that here and do just like I did before. Start low, kind of come around. But these are beautiful and they are shimmering. Totally different. So I'll come in here. A little bit darker in the middle, but it's funny, it doesn't make it as dark as it did on when I was just doing straight cardstock. But get your edges of your petals. Then I will go to that Misty Moonlight with my small brush. Come in here, you want to go light it first. Okay, and sometimes you can even get more on the tip to kind of keep it a tighter control of where your dark is going. So when I was doing this, I thought if I wanted the centers to also have the shimmery, then I could, like when this dried, put the next mask on and do the shimmery. But when I tried it, I really thought it was fine just having my petals be the shimmer in the texture. So I will take this, put this aside. Y'all can see, look how pretty that is. Just like that. So when I did this one, I did the crushed curry and the pumpkin, but I thought, let me try, because y'all know I'm an open book here. We're going to try it anyways. Let me try the pecan pie and the early espresso. And then we can vote on that, see what we want. So I'm skipping number 2, the leaves. I am going to pick up number 3 here. And I will put it on top, like so. So with my pecan pie, putting, oh my goodness, all my fingers in the ink pads. So I'm just going to come in here lightly with my pecan pie. And I told you earlier, I saw a card that it was for an in color club. And she actually did the flowers in pecan pie, and they were gorgeous. So this is going to work with just about anything, y'all. So let's see how this goes. So there's my pecan pie. Ooh, loving it. Loving it, loving it. And then this one here, I can just eye my little centers. Come in with some early espresso. I think I'm liking this one. I think for the shimmer paste, I'm gonna love using the early espresso and the pecan pie. And the reason being because it takes on more of a pool party look. Whereas the balmy blue, it's blue, you know, and I like the yellows and the oranges with it. So I can pick that up. Yeah, and go just a little bit darker. Yes, yes, yes. I like that better. Now I can come back in with my leaves. and my old olive right here. So what are y'all thinking about masks so far? Again, they're addicting. If I didn't, my brother's in town. I don't know if I told y'all that. It's so much fun. He got in last night, him and his wife, Cheryl. So we are going to see my sister down at the beach tonight and going to Waterman's for dinner. And if I wasn't doing all that fun stuff, I think I'd still be staying up here playing. But you know, you got to be a team player and go. And I'll have a great time there also. All right, Steph, we're going to put that flower on this side, since that's kind of where we wanted it before. Not the flower, the leaf. A little darker up there. Oh my goodness, I am loving this. Okay, one more big one. We can do a small one, just so y'all could see what the small one looks like too. Okay. And there, let me see. Kathy says it reminds her of Emboss Resist. That's true. Now that's a fun technique I have not visited in a while. I'll have to try that. Do that with embossing. And you know what also works good, Kathy, is we used to do white crayons. So if you put a white crayon, like to highlight something, and then you brayer it or sponge over it, it's not going to stick to that white crayon, and it gives a highlight. Oh man, the time we could spend in the stamp room. So here I've got my 4 by 5 1/4 pretty peacock. You know, I always tell y'all, it's like, how do you lose something when you never left your seat? Oh well, we'll use liquid glue this time, because the tape is here somewhere. So I'm just going to come around. Oh my gosh, this one turned out awesome, if I say so myself. Because the original one, this is what I was talking about. This was when I did the original one. So my initial thought was to just have one of them shimmer and the other 2 flat. But see how the color kind of changed? To me, this took on more of a pool party look, where this was still balmy blue. So that's when I decided to go ahead and just do all 3. And oh my gosh, just the softness of it. And you know what I'm going to do, just because it's not enough? It should be, but you can never have enough sparkle. I am going to go ahead and just take my Wink of Stella and just put a couple extra. Let me get my other one. Because, you know, I don't think I've ever thrown out, I know I have, I just tease myself, a Wink of Stella, because you're like, oh, there's still a little bit left in there. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Awesome. And it's just that little bit. And I find in the daytime, you don't see it as much, but at the nighttime, when the light is just different lighting, you really do. So with this, I think I'm gonna attach it with some dimensionals. Thing here. Normally I like it flat on the front, but I think this would be fine. Popped up. Alrighty. So I had talked about showing you the houndstooth mask today, but I felt this was like a class in itself, and I want to show you some of the other masks that Stampin' Up! Carries in their regular catalog. And last night I heard of a little trick using the paste and the mask in another way. So that might be just a little tease for next week. Because I think with the mask you could just do multiple classes. Oh my goodness, look how pretty that is. Again, the colors, I think the colors just come out really different. What do y'all think? Let me see. Can I see the sparkle through the paste? Absolutely. You know, unfortunately, let me see if I can hold it up here. It really never does. The computer doesn't do it justice. But that's why I like the sparkle so much instead of the regular paste, because you can see it. It definitely sparkles, Stephanie. And I haven't played much with the regular paste yet. That is on the menu to do. But the sparkle I was addicted to the minute I saw it. So these are our cards. I won't put that diagonal one back up there since y'all didn't care for it. But I really think you could have a lot of fun using masks. At least I am. So I hope you liked the cards today. If you don't already get my newsletter, please go to creatingwithcolleen.com and request it. I always send inspiration and all the specials in the newsletter so you can stay on top of things. Stampin' Up! Did add to their clearance rack yesterday, so those items are drastically reduced. Make sure you check things out there. And if you're going to place an order and it's less than $150, please use my host code. But if it's $150 or more, you start receiving host benefits, which is 10% of the merchandise amount and free merchandise. You definitely want to take advantage of that. But please like and share, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you helping me get out there. But thank you all for being here. I really, really always look forward to Wednesdays and having company in the stamp room. Thank you, Gwen. You know, I love to share. Thanks, Kathy. Goodness, I hope you all have a beautiful day. Again, I'm going to go run my errands so then I can go see my brother and we are going to go play at the beach. So God bless you all. Do something creative and check out these masks. Thanks so much. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday when it will be the 27th. My goodness, 27th of September. So take care and enjoy the day. Bye-bye.